Welcome back to the new math tutorial. In this video we are talking about the ratio. What is the meaning of the ratio? Ratio is comparing between two quantities by division. We compare between two numbers by division. The two quantities or the two numbers must have the same type and the same unit. We compare between the number of the pens to the number of the notebook. We compare between the price to the price. We compare between the length to the length. They must have the same type and the same unit. So we compare between them by division. So if you look at the question that we have that the paper clip, we have two different colors, the blue and the red. So at the first I'll just start counting the red. We have only two reds and we have 6 blue paper clips. If you need to find the ratio between them, the ratio between the number of the first one to the number of the second one, we can write it as 2 to 6. Or we can write it, this sign is called 2. So we have here 2 to 6. Or we can write it as 2 over 6. This form is a fraction form. Because we write it as a fraction, it means we need to write the ratio in the simplest form. So for any ratio, you must write it in the simplest form by dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number. We can divide 2 by 2, so it will be equals 1. And we can divide 6 by 2 will be equal 3. So the simplest form now will be 1 to 3. Again, how we can write the ratio? We can write the ratio as 2 to 6, or 2 to 6 by this way, or 2 to 6 as a fraction. Because it's written as a fraction, you must write it in the simplest form. So we have here the ratio is comparing between two quantities by division. They must have the same type and the same unit. We compare between the length to the length, number of elements to the number of the elements, the price to the price, the length to the length. How we can find the question? In this problem, we need to find the ratio in the simplest form that compares the number of the red paper clips to the number of the blue paper clips. So to solve this problem, at the first I need to find the number of red paper clips. So we can count it, will be 2. And the number of the blue will be equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have 6. So to find the ratio between red to blue will be equals 2 to 6. 2 to 6 is not the simplest form because we can divide both of them by 2. So the number now will be equals 1 to 3. Again for the next question. We need to find the ratio in the simplest form between the number of the suns to the number of moons. I need to start with the suns. The order is important for this one. We need to start by the number of the suns and the number of moons, and we need to compare between them. So the number of the suns we have 4. And the number of the moons we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Both of them are even numbers. It means we can divide both of them by 2. So 4 divided by 2 equals 2. And 6 divided by 2 equals 3. So the ratio in the simplest form will be equals 2 to 3. You can write it as a fraction 4 to 6. How we can solve it? We know that 4 is equals 2 multiplied by 2. And 6 is equals 2 multiplied by 3. We can cancel out 2 and 2. So the remainder now will be equals 2 to 3. So the ratio will be in the simplest form 2 to 3. In question number 10, we have here the table that shows the different type of the yogurt. We have 4 different types and the number of the sold items of each one. So we need to find the ratio that compare between the sale of the strawberry yogurt to the total number. So number 1, we need to find the number of the strawberry. So we have here the number of the strawberry to the total number of the item. So the strawberry that we have now, which is 8. So I will just write 8. And the total, I need to add all of them. 3 and 6 equals 9, plus 7 equals 16, plus 8 equals 24. So we have the ratio now will be equals 8 to 24. 8 to 24 is not the simplest form. If you write it as a fraction, it will be 8 to 24. We know that 8 is equals 4 multiplied by 2. And 24 will be equals 4 multiplied by 6. We can cancel out 4 and 4. Still we have here 2 and 6. As we know that 6 is equals 2 multiplied by 3. And 2 is equals 2 multiplied by 1. We can cancel out 2 and 2. Still we have here 1 to 3. So the ratio in the simplest form now will be equals 1 to 3. Or with an easy way, we can divide the first line here by 8. We can divide it by 8 because 8 divided by 8 equals 1. And 24 divided by 8 equals 3. So if you can't solve it by using fractions, you can find the number that you can divide 8 and 24 by this number, which is the highest common factor. It means we can find the highest common factor of 8 and 24, then divide both of them by this number. You can simplify it as a fraction or finding the highest common factor to simplify. In this problem, we need to find the ratio between the number of the cats to the pets. So at the first, I need to find the number of the cats to the total number of pets. So how many cats that we have? We have 8. And the total number of the pets, we have 10 and 14 equal 24, plus 8 equal 32. So we can divide both of them by 8 because both of them is divisible by 8. 8 divided by 8 equals 1, and 32 divided by 8 equals 4. If you can't find the highest common factor, you can write it as a fraction. We have 8 over 32. We know that 8 is equals 4 multiplied by 2. And 32 will be equals 4 multiplied by 8. You can simplify it 4 and 4. Still we have here 2 and 4. We can divide both of them by the same number. We can write 8 as 2 multiplied by 4. And 2 would be equals 2 times 1. Because you would cancel 2 and 2. Still we have 1 and 4. So the ratio in the simplest form will be 1 to 4. And that's how we can find the ratio in the simplest form. The main point that you need to find, you need to compare which number to the other number. The first term to the second term. The first term that we have here, which is the cats. And the second term, which is the total number of the pets. So you just write the cats to the pets, write the number of the element of the cats, then write the total number of the pets, then find the ratio in the simplest form. You can simplify it by finding the highest common factor, or write both of them as a fraction, then write the simplest form for them. In this problem, Kitty wants to divide her 30 flowers into 2 groups by the ratio 2 to 3. It means the ratio between the first group to the second group will be 2 to 3. To make the total number will be 30. It means how many parts? Number 1, we need to find the number of the parts. How we can find the number of the parts? From the ratio itself. We have here 2 and 3. It means all of the parts that we have will be 2 plus 3, which equals 5. So number 1, we need to find the total number of parts. The total number of parts, we can find it from the ratio. The ratio is 2 to 3. It means we have 2 plus 3 equals 5. We have 5 parts. Number 2, the total number of elements that we need to divide. We need to divide 30 flowers. So we have here 30. We will divide it by the total number of parts, which is 5, to make the answer equal 6. Now step number 3, we need to find the first group and the second group. How we can find it? We said the first group which represented 2 parts, each part of 6 flowers. So we have 6. So 2 times 6 equals 12. And the second group with ratio equal 3. Each group will be 6 elements. So we have here 3 multiplied by 6 equals 8. If you add 12 and 18, you will find that the total will be equal 30. That's how we can find it. Again, from the beginning, you need to find the number of the parts. How many parts? We can find it from the ratio. We have 2 to 3. Just add them will be equals 5. Divide the total number by the number of the parts to find the value of each group. The value of each group equals 6. How many groups that we have for the first one? We have 2. So 2 multiplied by 6 equals 12. How many elements that we have for the second one? Which is 3. So 3 multiplied by 6 will be equals 8. And that's how we can find the number of the element if they're given the ratio. If they're given the ratio, we need to find the value of each group, then find the number of the elements. In this problem, we need to divide 33 foods into 2 groups by the ratio 4 to 7. Now we have the ratio and we need to find the value of each group. So number 1, we need to find how many parts that we have. To find the number of parts by using the ratio, just we add them. 4 plus 7 equals to 11. So we have 11 parts. Now we need to divide. We have 33 photos. We need to divide it into 11 parts. So we have 33 divided by 11 would be equal to 3. That means the value of each group would be equal to 3. So to find the ratio of the first group to the ratio of the second group would be equal. For the first group, we have 4 just multiplied by the answer that you find it, which is 3. So 4 times 3 equals to 12. The second group will be 7 multiplied by 3 will be equals 21. If you add both of them, you will find that the total number now will be equal to 33. So step number 1, you need to find the total number of parts by adding the ratio. Number 2, divide 33 by the number of the parts, which equals to 3. Now you have 2 groups, the first and the second. The first group, which is 4 multiplied by 3, to find the answer will be equals 12. The second group, which is 7 multiplied by 3, to find the total number now will be equals 21. And that's how we can use the ratio to find the number of the element, and how we can use the number of the element to find the ratio in the simplest form.